from Universal Studios Hollywood. This is American Gladiators. Selected from a nationwide search, 20 men and women have come to Hollywood to challenge our force of American Gladiators for a single honor, to become American Gladiators champions. Now, here are your American Gladiators: Gemini, Lace, Nitro, Gold, Laser, Blaze, Thunder, Ice, Turbo, and Diamond. The host for American Gladiators, Mike Adamle, and his co-host, Larry Zonka.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Adamle. Glad you could join us for another edition of American Gladiators. We've got brand new events, a revamped Eliminator final, and we've got 20 brand new contenders who were selected from a nationwide talent search. And with their athletic skills, they have a chance to earn over $150,000 in cash and prizes. I also have a brand new sidekick. He's Hall of Fame fullback from the Miami Dolphins, Larry Zonka, and still looking, I might add, rough and tough.
Thank you. I don't know. Quite honestly, Mike, I don't know about rough and tough anymore. After watching some of the practice rounds and seeing what some of the Gladiators have done to some of the contenders, and vice versa, I might add, I'm kind of glad to be over 40 and over at the booth.
You're not the only one. With that in mind, let's meet the contenders for this preliminary round.
In our women's preliminary, please welcome Margaret McCargo of East Orange, New Jersey, a student at Uppsala College where she plays basketball. And her opponent, Susan Hirst of Glendale, Arizona, an Air Force captain, married, and mother of 2 daughters. In the men's competition, here's Chris Vopatek of La Jolla, California, a bouncer and former high school champ in the pole vault. And his opponent, Purple Roundy of Phoenix, Arizona, a personal trainer who enjoys competing in demolition derbies.
Susan, you're an Air Force captain, and coincidentally, we have several events that happen in midair, so I imagine your experience with heights are going to help you.
Well, I'm hoping that the Air Force experience will help, and a little bit of that killer claw image will get out and give me some backing.
We might as well get this over with first. Purple Mark Roundy, is that your name? Is this some kind of power thing? You derive power from the color purple?
Is the only name I could spell.
The only name he could spell. That tells you a lot about him. Larry?
Margaret, I understand one of your hobbies is riding a 650 motorcycle.
Yeah, speed, coordination should help me with the Powerball.
I think so. Chris, I understand you're a pole vaulter. You've had an opportunity to look at our wall. Do you think any of those pole vaulting abilities will come in handy?
Sir, I think it'll help out with my speed, agility, and strength.
All right, good luck to both of you.
Contenders, best of luck. Gladiators, give them a great fight. Let's get ready to rock and roll. This is how our competition on American Gladiators work. Our contenders, 2 men and 2 women, will compete in 7 very different events against our American Gladiators. Now, the contenders who amass the most points in those 7 confrontations automatically advance to the next round and move 1 step closer towards our championship final. Coming up first, men's Powerball.
All right, contenders. Rules of the game are very simply, you take a ball from your end, you try to score in each one of the scoring pods. The outer pods are worth 1 point, the center pod is worth 2 points. If you are ruled out of bounds, if you are tackled, or if you drop the ball, you must immediately go to the opposite end and get another ball of your color. Good luck to both of you. May the best contender win.
Of course, the big catch in this equation are 3 Gladiators, Turbo, Nitro, and Laser. Trying to stop the contenders, they are Purple Roundy, 27 years old, a demolition driver from Phoenix, Arizona, and he'll be going up against Chris Vopatek, who's 24 years old from La Jolla, California.
Both of these fellas are pretty good-sized fellas, really, Mike, but when you contrast them against Turbo, they lose a little something.
And there's a time limit here. Both contenders have 45 seconds to score as many goals as they can, and the match is on.
Chris wastes no time trying to put a move on Turbo, but ends up eating a little dirt in the process.
Eats it there again, too. That time he got double-teamed. Purple gets around Turbo, but not for long.
Don't see any balls in any pods yet.
Whoa, there was a hit.
Head-on hit by Turbo. Nose-to-nose little linebacker action as Purple gets double-teamed.
The Gladiators' strategy here, Larry, alternate their double teams. First they'll double team Chris, and then they'll double team Purple. Chris, meanwhile, lost his headgear early on, and he's really exposed.
I think he's losing a little more than that, Mike. Losing a little flesh on that carpet, I think.
Now Nitro and Laser trying to rearrange his face. Whoa! That was one rugged Powerball match.
Very physical.
Score at 2-1, Chris. How tough was it? Well, watch Purple get the double team treatment there from Laser and Nitro. As they say in the vernacular, they paid the price.
Purple, these Gladiators play for keeps. I see you got a little blood under your nose there. You must have bumped into somebody.
This is kind of like a good demolition derby race, only without the cars. I like it.
Yeah, there's some semis out there in this race with you. Chris, here's your helmet back. It flew over to my feet. You have that linebacker look on your face. You got into this.
Big guys, big hits. That's what I'm here for.
All right, good luck, gentlemen. Mike.
The ground is still shaking after that Powerball match. Nitro, you guys are back, and it looks like stronger than ever. Another new man here, another new teammate.
Hey, you gotta love this. This is our new man, Turbo. Now we got out here, we got lasso him with Laser. We got get a blast from Turbo and take the knockout good night punch from Nitro.
And you do pack a powerful punch, Turbo.
Well, I'm trying to give it my best shot. Been at it for quite some time, trying to put some muscle on the body so I can give these guys what it takes to put them out.
I might add, those are some serious guns. Laser, last year, some American Gladiator fans might remember that you had gotten hurt. The offseason looks to have done you well. Back in top shape?
Top shape, top form, and it's good to be back. I'm glad to be here, and I think we're gonna conquer all. You bet.
So after the first round of men's Powerball, we have Chris with 2, Purple with 1. Still to come, we're going to have some action in the Joust, followed by the Assault. But coming up next, women's Powerball.
Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood, and we are now ready for the non-stop action of women's Powerball. Let's take a look.
And Mike, you're looking at what our 2 contenders are going to face, Diamond, Gold, and Blaze, and it appears they're very ready to play.
And our contenders for this preliminary round, 30-year-old Susan Hirst, mother of 2, an Air Force captain from Glendale, Arizona. She'll be going against 21-year-old Margaret McCargo from East Orange, New Jersey, who's a communications major at Uppsala College. And as one of our young fans looks on, we will tell you that the contenders have 45 seconds to score as many goals as they can. A goal in the center scoring pod worth 2 points, a goal in the outer scoring pods worth 1. And quickly, Margaret McCargo has gone to work. She has scored the first goal. Susan desperately trying to find some running room.
Margaret bobbled the ball at one end. Now we have both contenders at one end. We'll have a little one-on-one action. But it doesn't go the way of the contenders as both of the Gladiators come through with great tackles.
Margaret, an outstanding basketball player, trying to use some of her one-on-one moves to no avail there against Diamond.
2-on-1 confrontation, and it nets out with Margaret getting one of those center goals for 2 points.
Now on the outside, she scores again. Susan trying to get something on the board. And she can't do it. It ends up Margaret McCargo 4, Susan Hirst 0. And it was apparent that Margaret's basketball background paid off against our very tough American Gladiators. Here's Larry with our 2 contenders.
Susan, seemed like you had a certain magnetism about you. You drew the double team almost every time.
Well, I guess they like me. Hopefully I can turn that around and show them how much I like them a little later.
I think the Gladiators heard that. Margaret, great job. Busted into the middle, scored a 2-pointer. Seemed like you were everywhere.
Yeah, I saw the middle open, so I said I should go for it. Had to use my speed.
Well, speed's a good thing to have out here. Congratulations, girls, on a good showing, and good luck in the future.
And who says our American Gladiators don't get excited about 15 seconds into that Powerball match? You just raised your fist. You had 30 seconds to go, Gold. You were excited out there.
That's right. I wasn't tired. I was doing good, and I just wanted to make sure everybody else knew that.
The newest member of the female American Gladiator team, Diamond, and you look like you belong.
Why, thank you. I'm very happy to be here with a great team, and I'm ready to rock.
Blaze, you're back better than ever, and she's very deceptive.
Yes, she is. She's very deceptive, but she's a great addition to the team.
You guys are like bookends out there. 3 very tough, talented bookends, if there can be 3 bookends.
So after the women's Powerball competition, we have Margaret with 4, Susan with nothing. And after the men's go around, we're looking at Chris with 2 and Purple with 1 as we prepare for the Joust.
And Chris is up first in the Joust, and here's why he wanted to compete on this show.
I love the American Gladiators because I've always liked going up against big guys, and these guys are some of the biggest. And this is my big chance to see how I can do against guys the size of the Gladiators.
Well, Chris gets his wish right here against one of the biggest and the best of the Gladiators, especially in this event, Gemini, who is virtually unbeatable on that jousting pedestal.
And right away, Chris gets the big hit. Gemini launches a beauty right onto his head.
Chris giving Gemini a pretty good tussle, however, but he loses his balance finally, and I think that it will be ruled, even though Gemini went off, that Chris stepped over to his platform first.
Mike, I think the replay is going to show that Chris might not necessarily have lost his balance. He might have been about half conscious after getting hit 3 massive hits by Gemini. That was 1, there's 2, and the third one is coming right there. At this point, Chris not only loses his balance, but almost blacked out.
And because he stepped over to Gemini's pedestal, he was disqualified, so no points for Chris Vopatek. Now it's Purple Roundy's turn. He too draws Gemini, and Purple has one thing going for him that Chris did not, and that's a big, big fan club from Phoenix, Arizona.
On guard!
Purple giving away about 60 pounds to Gemini. Gemini quickly goes right to work with a couple of shots. Purple loses his stick momentarily. Now his balance, he's finished.
Gemini caught him a great one upside of the head and flipped Purple off there like a limp rag.
Gemini, you haven't lost your trademark. Strike first.
That's right. That initial blow is so very important. You put your man on the defensive end of the spectrum. Therefore, he's not throwing blows. He's trying to keep his balance and keep from getting hit. So you come down with your horizontal slashes, your reverse butts, and your diagonal slashes, and finish them off with a jab. But that's all a matter of timing.
Gemini.
Purple is an old fullback. I know what it's like to have to look out the ear hole of your helmet. And judging from the way Gemini got that opening blow on you and spun your helmet, you got the same effect.
Well, yeah, he spun my helmet halfway off and started whispering sweet nothings in my ear and kind of threw my guard off a little bit. But I'll get him back. I'll see him. I'll see him in another round.
Good luck, Purple.
And so Gemini, the thinking man's Gladiator, excels again in the Joust, and after 2 events, it's Chris 2, Purple 1. Now, after 1 event in the women's competition, Margaret leads Susan 4-0, and Margaret McCargo is up first in the Joust. She'll be dueling Ice.
Obviously, Margaret's giving up a good deal of size and strength in this. It'll be interesting to see whether Ice strikes first or plays a little defensive strategy.
That's Ice's trademark, but it is Margaret who gets off the first shot. Now Ice is countering. Big shot there to the head of Margaret, and down she goes.
Well, she didn't have much trouble throwing Margaret off there. She took her off much like she was a feather.
Power wins out over quickness.
But Margaret will be back. She's a competitor. Mike?
Ice, short and sweet. 6 seconds. You didn't even break a sweat.
I love this. This is great.
What turns you on about the pugil stick and the Joust?
I just want to get him down because I don't want to be the one going down.
That makes good sense. Nice philosophy to have. You're going to be tough to deal with. The Ice Woman.
Ice already developing a following, even though she's new to it. She's going to get an opportunity now to face off with Susan Hirst from Glendale, Arizona. And I would think Susan's a little intimidated at this point.
Larry intimidated to the point where she's not even getting off a shot. She was just frozen up there waiting for Ice to do her in, and that's exactly what happened.
Ice iced her jaw.
Iced her arms, iced her legs. Susan didn't move.
Susan, Ice got some heavy licks on you early there. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was trying to do the defensive side, but the Marines caught us. It just didn't seem to work out for me.
Well, she kind of set you up with 3 or 4 lefts, and then all of a sudden, when you least expected it, came back with that right and knocked you right off the platform. You had a low center of gravity, but that right cross is what got you, I believe.
I did my best, but I never got a shot in.
Good luck from here on out. Thank you, Susan.
So a tough go-round for our female contenders in the Joust, and after 2 events, Margaret McCargo still with a 4-0 lead. Still to come on the American Gladiators, our contenders will have to ascend the wall. And then later it's the human cannonball. But coming up next, it's assault. Welcome back, and we are ready now for our next event, the men's assault. And here's what the contender sees as he tries to hit a target located above the Gladiator. There are weapons positioned at 5 different safe zones, which will give the contender an opportunity to hit that target. At safe zone number 4, for instance, a pistol awaits. If all else fails, a 5th and final attempt, where 3 softballs are located behind that barrier. First up is Purple Roundy. He'll be going against Nitro. And Nitro is pumped up as always. He has proven, certainly in past shows, that he is one sure shot.
Let's see what kind of shot Purple is. A little low and outside.
Well, remember, this guy's a demolition driver, not a shooter.
Well, he better sharpen his sight soon here.
Well, that's Nitro's style. He doesn't give the contenders any room to breathe.
Purple with a little stop-and-go technique. He's getting close in. There's not much reaction time at this range.
Working against that 60-second clock. Under 20 seconds now.
We're going to have an opportunity to see what kind of softball pitcher Purple is right here.
3 shots at Nitro. Never got off the 3rd shot because Nitro picked him off.
Never changed. The best of the best.
Best in the West, maybe, but he only had 1 tennis ball left.
So no points for Purple Roundy.
As we watch Purple's Nolan Ryan technique expose himself to Nitro's tennis ball.
So Nitro 1 for 1, and now he'll try to go 2 for 2 against Chris Vopatek. Again, that target you see located above the Gladiator. If the contender hits the red area, that's worth 7 points. The white area, a bullseye worth 10.
Nitro again with a rapid fire. He just keeps pumping the tennis balls out.
That makes the contenders trigger happy. They don't want to spend too much time lining up their sights. Chris's shot with the cannonball is low and off the mark. Still, however, with plenty of time. And the shot with the pistol, what was a high hanger, but it hit the red area worth 7 points.
And Nitro visibly upset about it.
Looks more like a fishing lure, but this little baby did the trick on Nitro. Nice shooting, Chris.
Yeah, got a little practice. Had my buddies come out to the tennis court to do a few serves at me. So it's all avoiding the ball. The shooting's just luck. Just setting it in the right direction and hope it makes it.
You earned 7 points. You hit the target. You missed the bullseye by just that much.
Oh, yeah? Well, next time.
Okay, nice shooting, Chris.
So Chris picks up 7 in assault, so he now has a 9-1 lead over Purple after 3 events. Women's overall after 2 events, Margaret 4, Susan 0, as we look at Lace getting ready to take on Susan in women's assault.
Lace is ready, but I don't know about Susan Hirst, 30 years old, the Air Force captain and mother of 2. That look on her face, it's like, gosh, what am I doing here?
She better get with it in a hurry. Those tennis balls are coming at her at over 100 miles an hour.
Susan setting herself for the crossbow. The shot is high and wide. Now she'll move on over to safe zone number 2, trying to avoid those shots by Lace.
Susan having a good technique. She faces off, looking at the cannon, trying to react to the tennis balls launched.
Another good shot, but off the mark again. Susan a bit lucky there that Lace's cannon got jammed up. I'll tell you what, Lace, like Nitro, just does not give you room to breathe. You expose any part of your body for more than a second, you're a dead duck.
The problem right there with the cannon, as you can see, the hand is exposed to reach out for the trigger, and Lace makes it count.
Well, now it's Margaret McCargo's turn to see if she can do any better.
Ready?
Larry Thompson blows the whistle, and off Margaret goes.
Ooh, a near miss by Lace, bounced right off the top of the crossbow.
Larry, this should mention that a contender can still earn points even though he or she does not hit that target. That's by earning a draw if they go through the entire area before the 60 seconds expires without being hit. They earn a draw, and that's worth 4 points.
Margaret depends on raw speed to get from safe zone to safe zone.
Well, her shooting leaves something to be desired, but not her quicks. She still has plenty of times to go.
She's a good athlete. Let's see how she does with the softball.
Oh, that last shot came very close. It didn't hit the target, but she crosses the finish line and earns 4 points for the draw.
4 the rough way. And how close did she come? Check this out. Look at this incoming rocket as we stop action right off the mark. Then at the softball, athletic ability just a hair off.
And with those 4 points, Margaret has increased her lead after 3 events. Here's Larry.
The wall is an event where our 2 contenders compete simultaneously, each trying to arrive first at the top of the 32-foot summit. But it's not a free climb, because 10 seconds after they begin, the gladiators start up after them to pull them off. Mike Adamley's up at the top of the wall. Mike, how's the view?
Zonk, not bad. This is about as high as you can go here in stage 27 without actually getting on top of the roof. Now, the wall is a difficult event, but not a dangerous one. You can see that our gladiators and contenders have safety harnesses on to prevent them from falling to the ground, that is. But the wall will demand a tremendous price from the contender who reaches the top first. His fingers will ache and his arms will be very sore. The man who makes it to the top first and earns 10 points will have clearly earned them.
So after 3 events by the men, we have Chris now leading purple 9-1. As we look at Chris preparing his strategy to go up the wall, he'll be followed up the wall by Thunder. Purple, his competition's planning his strategy, and he'll be followed up the wall by Turbo.
And Larry, sometimes the luck of the draw means a lot in sports, and in this case, with Turbo and Thunder chasing Chris and Purple, that's an advantage for the contenders because Thunder and Turbo are a pair of heavyweights, and they're not really that adept in this event.
Question is, can the contenders get enough of a lead to get away from the gladiators? It's going to be that initial thrust that makes the difference.
Both contenders were given a 10-second head start. Chris in the red has the slight lead over Purple, Roundy in the blue.
See what you mean about the hand grips, Mike. Look at Purple, one hand at a time. That's got to be wearing his fingers out.
Well, Chris is going to make it to the top first. A great ascent by him. And I take that back, Turbo. You are pretty good in this event. He's got Purple's left leg and trying to pull it off.
He doesn't succeed. He doesn't even get the tennis shoe, and Purple gives him a little raspberry at the end.
One of the great things about American Gladiators is even though the contenders are competing against one another, there's still room for a lot of feeling for each man. And I know, Chris, even though you won, you have a great deal of feeling for Purple and what he did.
Anybody who can pull a gladiator up like that has got respect in my book.
You deserve a lot of respect. Your time, 30 seconds to the top.
Woo! I've always been kind of a monkey. No wall or house or anything has stopped me yet, so.
Purple, what about that second effort? You had Turbo hanging all over your leg. There was a titanic struggle.
No one likes that wall anyway. And to have to take up about 200 pounds of excess baggage makes it a little harder, you know.
This wall is tough, and again, it all lies in hand strength, and look at the calluses on the hands of Purple. That effort worth 5 points for finishing second. Way to go. And we'll be back with more of American Gladiators right after this.
So Chris picking up 10 to Purple's 5 in the men's wall, and the men's overall score after 4 events, Chris 19, Purple 6. Still to come, Atmosphere, the human cannonball, but coming up next, the women's wall.
Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood. Competition ready now on the women's wall. Susan Hirst trails Margaret McCargo 8-0 in the overall standings, but here's why she thinks she's qualified to compete.
I have a lot of determination. I don't give up. I face a challenge head on and do the best I can in it. If something is difficult, I just go a little bit further and tell myself that this is one more thing. I've parachuted out of airplanes. I can certainly do climb a rock face with a rope tied onto me.
So Susan Hirst with no fear of heights, and I don't know if the same can be said for Margaret McCargo, but she is a great athlete, and she'll be trailed by Blaze up the wall. Susan Hirst will have Diamond chasing her. Once again, the contenders compete side by side. They are given a 10-second head start ahead of the Gladiators. They've got 60 seconds to make it to the top. Susan in the blue, Margaret in the red. Both women moving well.
Our gladiators hit the wall. That has to have a little bit of an influence on your psyche, Mike, when you're on that wall and you hear the whistle blow and feel the gladiators start up behind you.
But the key thing for the contenders, don't look back. Don't look back. Susan, very steady, very smooth. She makes it to the top first and momentarily has a 10-8 lead. That's providing Margaret doesn't make it to the top, but she does as well for 5 points.
2 very determined young ladies, Mike.
It is not often that we have both contenders making it to the top of the wall, but that's exactly what happened. And Susan, you did so in a brand new woman's record, 33 seconds. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I really needed this one.
I know I saw behind closed doors, backstage, you were crying a little bit after some of the early events. You weren't doing so well. What turned it around for you?
A good friend, Tish Tillison, she got down with me, prayed, and I said, come on, let's just let it loose and do the best you can.
Camaraderie, that's what American Gladiators is all about. And Margaret, that was a great run for you. You didn't make it to the top first, but you still earned 5 points. Were mighty quick in doing so.
I tried to stay with her and keep going, that's all.
Both of you were excellent on the way to the top. Now you have to go down, and that's really the fun part. Hang on to your harnesses, girls. Congratulations.
So in the women's wall, Susan picking up 10 to Margaret's 5. And the women's overall scoring after 4 events, we're looking at Margaret 13, Susan 10. Men's overall after 4 events, Chris with 19, Purple with 6.
And time now, Larry, for the human cannonball. Chris will be swinging against Turbo. Purple will be swinging against Laser. Both contenders given 2 swings, each successful swing worth 5 points. And once again, the Gladiators' mission to somehow, some way, repel the tremendous momentum generated by the contenders. Here they come. There goes Laser, there goes Turbo. Did he? Or did he? He managed to hang on.
Laser having a little different style than Turbo. Laser a little higher, Turbo down low, got knocked down, but maintained his balance as we look at a split screen review. You'll see Turbo's right leg go off. He sets down kind of hard, but maintains his balance. Gladiators win it.
Now the bad news for Turbo and Laser, the contenders get a second swing. And they both hang on. This doesn't happen very often, but the Gladiators have emerged victorious. A shutout against Chris Vopatek and Purple Roundy.
Laser staying high and Turbo going low.
Given the physics involved in the human cannonball, this is something of an upset. Our Gladiators going 2 for 2, both Laser and Turbo. Laser, you turned Purple into Maple Serple.
Well, yeah, I think the object of the game is you got to stay low and you got to keep at them. So I think with the attribute of Turbo, we're going to have a good team this year.
Stay low you did. And Turbo, Larry Zonka likened this event to trying to stop, for the Gladiators anyway, trying to stop an oncoming freight train. Yet you did it with ease, except for that first time. Great save, a butt save.
It was a butt save. I do believe I'm a post and keep out sign up here, and there's nobody getting in my area.
Well, they kept off all right. Turbo and Laser, 2 for 2, the Gladiators.
So men's overall after 5 events, Chris 19, Purple 6. Women's overall after 4 events, Margaret 13, Susan 10, as we get set for women's cannonball.
30-year-old Susan Hirst going up against 21-year-old Margaret McCargo, is hoping her appearance here on the American Gladiators will help her plans for the future. Here's what she had to say.
I like to be a police officer soon, and I think dealing with the American Gladiators, it helps me build up for the physical part of the exam, going through the academy, getting banged around and listening to people yell, and just the physical toughness.
Time to get physical now for Margaret McCargo. As she draws gold on her first swing, Susan will be going against ice.
Ready? Oh, Susan knocking ice right off the pedestal, much to everyone's surprise. Here we have a shot from Susan's helmet cam as she approaches ice. Ice looking prepared, but suddenly spinning around and flying from the pedestal. What an impact.
Second attempt now coming for both our contenders. And here they come. Margaret against Ice. And Ice trying to hang on again, and again she gets the Ralph Cramden treatment. Bang, zoom, she's off.
But on the other hand, gold going 2 for 2. How'd she do it? Let's look at her technique. Low, hangs tough, takes the big shot, and comes out the winner.
So both Margaret and Susan pick up 5 points in cannonball, and after 5 events, Margaret still has a 3-point lead. A lot more action to come here on the American Gladiators, including the final event, the Eliminator. But coming up next, it's Atmosphere, our version of Demolition Derby. Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood for more of the American Gladiators. I'm Mike Adamley along with Larry Zonk. And Zonk, our next event, something called Atmosphere.
Sort of a rock'em, sock'em, bang'em up, clang'em up demolition derby.
The operative words here, smash, mash, and bash.
Yeah, in Atmosphere, 2 contenders compete simultaneously in an effort to roll their ball into one of the red, white, and blue scoring pods, worth 1 point each. At the same time, two gladiators will be trying to keep the contenders from scoring by means of their own spheres.
And this should be right up purple Roundy's alley. There he is in the blue Atlas sphere against Chris Vopatek. He'll be in the red. Purple, a demolition derby driver from Phoenix, Arizona. And the two gladiators, Nitro and this man, Thunder. And Thunder can really get that Atlas sphere moving. And as Nitro gets inside of his Atlas sphere, we will tell you that the score after 5 events coming into this event, Chris on top of purple, 19-6.
Ready, red. Ready, blue.
And our referee, Larry Thompson, about to get the proceedings underway. Those plumes of smoke, nitrogen gas, which indicate to the audience and our contenders that they have scored. And there, I'll tell you what, that was a huge collision. Might have set off some of the seismograph machines here in Southern California.
Well, they waste no time banging heads to get things going.
Purple has really got his Atlas sphere moving on a breakaway.
Chris settles in for a point.
And it looks like Purple might have as well. I don't think our smoke machines are working at this time. We apologize for the technical difficulty, so to speak.
Chris is having a little technical difficulty of his own. It's called Thunder. Thunder's all over him. He won't let him settle into the pod for the score.
And I tell you, the toughest job may belong to some of our cameramen out there who are trying to cover the action. They really have to be on their toes.
We're going to have Atlas sphere little squares on their head after this is over.
Well, that was Chris with another goal. He scored right there. He leads 2-0 at the moment. Time running out here.
Purple getting knocked sideways and going for a free ride in his own Atlas sphere.
Chris couldn't get it in there. Now he's pinned in. Purple desperately trying to score, and that's it. The 60-second time limit is up.
Chris doing a little handstand. Here we get to see Purple take his free ride at impact. Gets knocked off his feet and just rides her out.
The only fair way to do this interview is to get inside the cage with him, right? I gotta get the feeling here, all right. Now this was supposed to be your cup of tea, pal, because you've had experience as a demolition derby driver. This is our version of the demo derby, only inside these iron spheres. Take the helmet off a second. Unfortunately, you did not win, Purple. Final count 2-zip in favor of Chris.
I spent most of my time in here looking for the steering wheel, I guess. Anyway, Nitro was good, but I'll just have to put a motor on my next one, I guess.
One of the things people don't realize is this is quite an aerobic workout. When Purple steps out of this cage, you'll see how sweaty he is. Wait a minute.
As they roll Mike away, Chris picking up 2 to Purple 0 in the atmosphere. Men's overall after 6 events, Chris 21, Purple 6. Women's overall after 5 events, Margaret leading Susan 18-15.
And now it's their turn to compete in Atmosphere, and there's Susan getting inside the blue cage. I'm sure she's used to tight quarters, being an Air Force captain. Margaret now safely inside, as is one of our gladiators, Lace, and also Gold will be competing in this event, trying to stop our 2 contenders. And I don't know, Larry, there's no way you can train, you can work out, you can do aerobics and push-ups, pull-ups, but there's nothing to prepare you for an event like this. Nothing at all.
Not unless you have a large bird cage on a very large backyard. As Larry Thompson, who's not prepared for this either, having officiated a lot of football, gets ready to start our Atmosphere event.
Susan Hirst in the blue Atmosphere, Margaret McCargo in the red.
Susan almost getting a point, but getting knocked out of the pod. Couldn't control her momentum and rolled on through. Has another opportunity, but again rolls past the pod. She has to learn to throw herself back and settle into that pod.
The thing working against our 2 women contenders is their body weight. Both of them just weigh 135 pounds, and this is one event where body weight helps.
Both Susan and Margaret don't have any trouble getting it rolling, but again, trying to reverse the field, throwing your body backwards and have it settle into the pod, just doesn't seem to work out for them.
Not an easy task, especially with the gladiators chasing in hot pursuit. Just when Susan thought she had it there, Gold bumped her out.
Margaret, another just a sheer miss. She needs to align her sights a little better.
There, another chance goes by the board for Margaret. And Susan, like a grain of salt inside a shaker, there's the whistle. And mercifully for Margaret and Susan, this Atmosphere match has ended. Tough workout.
And Mike, as we talked about earlier, both Margaret and Susan having problems settling into the pod. Great aim, they're right there, but can't quite seem to get it to settle.
So no score for our contenders in Atmosphere, and after 6 events, it's still Margaret 18, Susan 15. Who will advance to the quarters? Well, we'll find out in the next event. It's called the Eliminator. Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood, and before we start our final event, the Eliminator, here's a recap of what's happened so far. In the men's competition, Chris Vopatek picked up 7 points in the assault by virtue of that shot right there. He also picked up another 10 by making it to the top of the wall first. But his opposition, Purple Roundy, would not give up as he held on to hold off the mighty Turbo. He earned 5 points for that effort. In the women's competition, the highlight for Air Force Captain Susan Hirst was her summit up the wall. She earned 10 points, but like Purple Roundy, Margaret McCargo also hung tough, and she earned 5 points as well. In the human cannonball competition, it was a 50-50 proposition as both contenders took turns knocking off the Gladiators to earn 5 points. And so the stage is set for the final event, the Eliminator. And Larry, it all starts here.
Mike, both our contenders start at the treadmill and must run against the belts. Once at the top, they must cross a 30-foot span by means of a specially designed hand bike. Then on across the familiar balance beam, where instead of medicine balls, Gladiators now throw weighted blocking pads at the contenders.
But Zonk, the trip is only half over. The contenders have to scale a 20-foot cargo net, and then it's a breezy ride down the zip line. It's a great break from a very exhausting day. A final straightaway after that, where the contenders have to clear 2 hurdles and then make a choice which lane to pick, because behind 3 of those doors lie American Gladiators. And so the stage is set for our women. Margaret leads Susan Hirst by 3 points. That translates to a 1.5-second differential, which means that our Air Force captain, Susan Hirst, would have to win by more than 1.5 seconds to advance to our quarterfinals. Both women are ready. They're at our start line right now.
And Mike, you can tell by the look on their faces, they're concentrating, projecting themselves through this very difficult event.
Referee Larry Thompson with the whistle, and they are off. Both women extremely quick up the treadmill.
Margaret first to the hand bike, but having a little trouble with it. Rhythm seems to be off a little.
Susan a little more smooth, but she still trails Margaret, as Margaret is the first to reach the platform, and now the balance beam. She whizzes across, flies by that blocking pad, and she's on the cargo net already.
Susan getting a little hit from the blocking bag on the backswing.
She managed to stay on the beam, however. Now she's on the cargo net. Margaret still the quicker of the 2. Now the fun part. That is a blast, Larry, because I've tried this earlier. A lot of fun, but not during the heat of competition like this. Margaret now across the hurdles. Here comes Susan down the zip line. Margaret, one last hurdle to go, and that's one of our American Gladiators. She crosses the finish line. She will advance to the quarterfinals as Susan goes across scot-free. Susan Hirst, mother of 2, had her chances, but the balance beam and her troubles there eventually did her in.
Susan, this Eliminator is really something. What part kind of set you back the most?
Getting hold of the bike handles, I got a little slowed up, and I hesitated badly on the beam, but got across without being hit.
Took a real shot on that beam.
Yeah, I guess I did. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember.
Well, congratulations for a great day of competition. We hope to see you again.
I hope to be here.
All right. Margaret, congratulations.
Thanks.
You've made it. Let me tell you something. You've been going through all day kind of quiet, reserved, kind of laid back, the silent competitor, and just steadily accumulating points. Was that part of the strategy?
Yeah, just waiting for the Eliminator to come.
I'll tell you what, I saw on the Eliminator when you came across the balance beam, you took a great shot head on and maintained your balance.
Yeah, I tried to keep going.
Well, Margaret, congratulations again. You're our quarterfinalists. We're looking forward to more competition. How about a hand for the girl?
And as you take a look at the final score, Susan Hirst could also advance to the quarterfinals. Her 75 points may be good enough to advance from the loser's bracket. After 6 events, here's how the men stand. Chris 21, Purple 6. That means that Purple would need to win the Eliminator run against Chris by 7.5 seconds. Both men ready. So are the Gladiators. Treadmills are rolling. Chris Vopatek in the red, Purple Roundy in the blue.
Ready?
There's the whistle as both men whiz up that treadmill. Purple first. And look at him pump his way across in that hand bike. Chris having problems.
Purple opening a large lead onto the balance beam, way out in front. Oh, takes a great hit on the bag. Right here, Chris closes the gap. It's a neck-and-neck race.
Purple, however, regaining the lead on the cargo net. Chris hanging in there. Remember, Purple would need to win by 7.5 seconds or more to automatically advance to the quarterfinals. He's got the lead now as he heads down the zip line. Here comes Chris. Purple over the hurdles. Now only Laser stands in his way. He struggles across the finish line. Finally makes it, and whoa! What a jump, what a leap by Chris Vopatek.
Chris does a Superman layout right over the top of Turbo, almost clearing the finish line.
And Larry, I think that made the difference.
Chris, knowing he was against the clock, did that layout, and Mike, I believe it did make the difference.
Okay, I'm gonna let Purple get his breath here for just 1 second and take a look at this man's body. His wrists are all chopped up. The muscles are sore. You're out of breath. You've gone through 7 events. You needed to win the Eliminator by 7.5 seconds. It didn't work out. You may still get to the quarterfinals based on your overall point total. But for the moment, it's all over. How does it feel, babe?
I want to go home, go to bed. It's brutal. It's definitely brutal. It ain't like sitting home on the couch and watching TV, so it's fun, though. So good job, Chris. Yeah.
I'm sure you had some expectations coming in what it might be like. Your thoughts now?
I was just hoping I wasn't going to run into someone in the tunnel of love here, but it looks like I did. It's like I feel like a 16-year-old girl in there, so I didn't feel too safe.
Purple, congratulations. Let's hope you make it to the quarterfinals, but this man will definitely advance. Chris, you did so by virtue of a Marcus Allen, Walter Payton leap through his Purple call it the tunnel of love, and there's no love waiting on the other side, babe.
Not at all. I used to play Walter Payton when I was a kid. That's a guy with the ball gets tackled. That's where I learned that move.
Were you concerned at all when Purple jumped out to that early lead?
Yeah, I almost chopped my thumbs off on that bicycle treadmill. It's either lose my thumbs or get ahead. So I decided to keep my thumbs. I thought I'd catch up with him up on the net. Almost got it. Pulled it off right near the end, I guess.
Chris, congratulations. Purple, congratulations. How about a nice hand for both these contenders? Great job.
And there you have it. Chris Vopatek advances to the quarterfinals.
So congratulations to Chris Vopatek and Margaret McCargo. They advanced to the quarterfinals. And here's a preview of some of the action you'll be seeing next week.
Next week, our preliminary round continues as 4 more contenders begin their quest to become American Gladiators champion. Kelly Peacock, Dale Thompson, Marla Smith, and Rob Botigi. Watch as they take on Gemini, Lace, Turbo, Blaze, and the rest of the American Gladiators.
That's it for this edition of the American Gladiators. For Larry Zonka, I'm Mike Anley saying so long from Universal Studios Hollywood.